Okay. So namaste. We're going to do our yin practice today. Um, if you're watching this recording later, this is Madison. She's going to be joining me today for our yin flow. So to get today's practice going, I'm honestly, and she's been feeling it, we've been talking about feeling overwhelmed. I had put up a retreat yesterday and it sold out within 5 hours, which is great. But then I discovered that my bank had blocked my debit card, thinking it was fraudulent behavior. So I've got a lot on my mind right now. I need to make sure that we really do have that retreat center secured for those dates now that it's sold out. And then it's not technically perhaps sold out because what just heard from a couple that said now they have to bow out and there's other people wanting in. And so my head is just kind of full. And on top of that, trying to get everything prepared to go out of town. So I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. She's been feeling it. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I think today, instead of doing the mix yin yang flow, I think we'll just be yin so that we can just, have some quiet time, get some deep stretches in, and try to just breathe out a lot so that we can unravel some of this overwhelm. All right, so let's start sitting upright on the mat. When you come to sit on your mat, just rest your hands down on your lap somewhere. Close the lids of the eyes. And just take a moment to check in with yourself. Being in that question, are you dealing with overwhelm right now? We are constantly being impacted and influenced with our plans and with people and with situations and our outlooks and attitudes. Let's bring our hands to prayer position at the heart. And let's set our intention to use this practice to help to unwind from any stress, to let go of some of our worry, to purposely slow down, to purposely give back to ourself, and to really be present through this hour together. And then continue to lift your prayer hands overhead, over the crown. And we'll do some pranayama in this pose called Parvantasana. This is the seated mountain pose. Begin taking a deep inhale in through your nose. Draw the navel in and up towards your heart. Hold it briefly. And then exhale, breathe it out. Inhale. Zip up through your midriff. Retain the breath briefly. And now release. One more deep breath in. Containing that prana at the heart. And then exhale, let the engagement of the core go as you allow the breath to escape from the lungs. Now inhale, let the arms continue to lift up, up, up. And then exhale, flip your hands out and let them go all the way down to the floor. All right, inhale. Take your left arm skyward. And as you exhale, slide your right hand over and take a side bend. And we're not mirroring you guys, but it's okay if you mirror us. And then let's get a little bit more yin. So drip the head down, C curve the top arm. Notice how it makes the body get heavier. To me, this mimics like a wilted flower. It's desperate for some water and some sunlight. That's kind of how we feel when we're overwhelmed, right? It's like too much. And now take that arm and let it release down in front of you. And then shift your chin so that it's pointed down towards the floor. This is also helping to stretch some different sections of the neck. The neck that has to work so hard to hold the head up through the day. And the head in and of itself weighs like 6 to 8 pounds. So right now, let the weight go. On your next inhale, gently begin to allow that left shoulder to draw you back up to center. Open your palms on your lap, balance the head upon the shoulders, close the eyes, and just check in. Maybe notice the difference in the way the left side body feels, now compared to the right. And then we'll take that to the other side. So inhale, lift your right arm. Exhale, you can slide or prop down onto your left hand. You're just swaying over to that side, ensuring that you're not lifting your seat at all. And then go ahead and start to collapse a little bit more, letting go, becoming like that wilted flower. Just bear witness to the breath as it enters and exits. Notice how much heavier the body appears to be and how gravity wants to draw us down. We're going to use that left arm to resist that occurrence. Let's go ahead and spill the top arm down in front of the chest. Let it hang in the direction of the floor. Continue to descend your head, but maybe pivot your chin so that it's now facing down. Couple more breaths. And then use the back of the right shoulder coming out of the left hand. Slowly ascending back up to straighten the spine. Let the shoulders fall away from your ears. And now the stem of the spine is growing upward towards the sunlight as if it's received that drink of water and the nourishment it needs to come back to life. We're going to lace our fingers together and cup a hold of the backside of the head. And we're splaying the elbows wide and kind of pushing the chest up and down. And then as you exhale, crunch through your belly, bow the head and let the elbows flop in. Inhale, it's like a little mini cow tilt. Splaying your arms, leaning the head back into your hands, opening the heart before rounding it out. This also provides a safety net for the neck as we blossom open. Exhale, flop the elbows towards the temples as you round it out. Let's do 2 more. All right, so we're going to remove the hands. We're going to come down into a prone position on our bellies. When you come down to the floor, stretch your legs back behind you. And instead of having the arms under you like Sphinx, which you can obviously do if this is better for your back, we're going to try to send the hands towards the corners or just past the corners of the mat so that we're propping our bodies up. Now you should feel more weight down through the top of your thighs, down through the pubic bone, as well as your belly. This is seal pose. Very different than up dog. And like I said, if it feels like it's too much for your low back, if it's impinging, a nerve, or you feel like it's too much for your lower disc, you can always come to the Sphinx form instead. And we're not going to hold it terribly long. So if that helps you determine, should I stay high or low? Close your eyes. What also helps is making sure the legs are relaxed and the feet are apart. So they're not parallel or zipping together. All right, we're going to come down to the elbows, stacking them forward of the shoulders so that we can drop into prayer hands. And you may already be there. But notice when we drop into this position, we're more or less resting on the bottom ribs. So a portion of your rib cage is now supported by the floor. And that takes the pressure out of the low back. Keep your feet fanned open, your buttocks soft. But manage your breath. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a facial massage here. So with the base knuckles of your thumb, press that into the inner part of the brow area. Slide it up beyond the third eye towards your hairline. Separate your hands and then press your thumb knuckles down into that little groove of the temples. Massage it 2 or 3 times. And then bring the heel of your hands to that groove, to that same space, that indentation at the side of the forehead. Squeeze in and up with your hands. And then circle here as well. This really can help with tension headaches, This also helps me to reduce the pressure that I sometimes feel with allergies. All right, come back to Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Slide the knuckles of your thumbs up past the third eye towards the hairline. Separate the hands. Circle your thumbs at the temple. Replace it with the heel of the hand, squeeze in and up, and then circle here as well. I actually do this as part of the Indian head massage. It's an Ayurvedic treatment. All right, we're gonna do that one more. Come back to prayer hands. And just think about that space between our eyes, that place that shows when we're focused, when we're stressed or worried. So press into that flesh, massage it out, stroke it upward, and then the hands away from each other to the temples. And then giving the temples that pressure and massage. My head already feels better. I don't know about yours.
It's in there.
All right, we're gonna slide your hands up underneath the chest. Come down to the forehead. Push up and take it back to extended child's pose now. A good counter after a back bend. So I wouldn't suggest having the knees especially wide since we're trying to provide a counter. If the knees go too wide, the belly falls in between and it's actually creating a dip or a little back bend. Right now we're trying to give the belly and the low back some support. Firming here as you hold. I relax away from all outer involvements to return to my inner haven of peace, comfort, and safety. On your next inhale, rock up to hands and knees. Lower the left forearm to the floor. Slide your right arm out and away. And you're coming to half melting heart. So we're accentuating that elongation and stretch on the right side body. Fleshing out the lymph nodes residing in the pit of the arm. It's helping to flush out anything unwanted, unnecessary. So bring some synovial fluid into the shoulder joints. Some nice, long, smooth yogic breaths. Inhale, walk the hands back. Stack to hands and knees. And we're going to move into thread the needle. So if you flip your left palm open, loop it up underneath the right arm. Now you can be yin or yang in your approach. I'm actually going to be active in the approach, but you can flop down and give more into gravity. So yogi's choice. Now, if you were enjoying what was happening in that right arm before, you can still sell the right arm forward. It's not going to be as deep of a stretch, but it's still an opening that you can continue. Let's go ahead and inhale, slide the right hand back. Power down through that palm so you can unwind the twist. And we'll do that sequence to the other side. So the right forearm comes down, the left arm is going to reach ahead, and then we drip down towards the floor. So with the right side being your supported side now, that left side can truly just melt downward towards gravity. Let's slide the left hand back, prop onto hands and knees. We'll thread the needle the other way. So thread the right arm under, drip down towards your ear. And you can always bring a pillow, block, or blanket underneath your head if you need it. Your left hand can be stacked in front of the face to give you that extra roll back, or you can send it back out again. Yogi's choice. Using these inversions to our advantage for helping to calm the wheels of the mind down. We don't tend to hold the twist as long, so let's slide the left hand back. Let's unwind from that twist. We're going to take a counter from the twist with downward facing dog. So curl your toes under and lift up and back. Pressing into the hands and the feet to sail your seat up high. Let your head go between the arms. Let it flow down into your face and brow. And we're going to bring the left knee and shin towards the top of the mat, just behind the hands. And let me go ahead and tell you, we're going to go towards swan or pigeon. However, if you need deer pose, this is a good point, a good juncture. Yes, thank you for being my model. You can do what Madison's doing here, or you can plop onto the left knee and slide for the hip and slide the right knee up and fold over to deer. So I'm doing deer and she'll show you the swan. So you can do either one. And usually deer pose, it's a little harder to come and kind of flop to the floor. You can always bring a bolster, pillows or something if you want to lounge on something more soft or comfortable. Usually in these passive poses, when I feel like, oh, I'm in this place of sweet surrender, I'll notice that my teeth are feeling clenched or my jaw feels tight. And so you're trying to discover where are those hidden pockets of tension found in your body. And it could be somewhere like the jaw or face. And if that's the case, just emphasize your exhalations. Sometimes if it's in the mouth, just blowing the breath out like a cleansing breath can also help. Inhale, let's slowly start to back up. I know that one is one of those that we don't always want to come out of. So if you're in deer, just push off the hip using your hands. Line up back like this. Curl your back toes under. Launch again to downward facing dog. Hang out here for a couple breaths. And now we'll switch sides. So the right knee will come towards the top, just behind the hands. Lower the back knee and then determine from here, hey, can I go to swan? You can go ahead and do swan. But if you need deer, I'll demo. You just come down to that right side of your seat, slide the left knee in, and then you'll fold over like this. And of course, I didn't mention, you can always go to your back and cross the ankle over the knee. But I know you guys know that one already. But sometimes I forget to mention deer, which is why I wanted to demo it. It's very similar. Just move back into your breath. It's begun raining here in Nashville. Not sure if it's raining at your house, but maybe just let that be our music today. It's okay for the breath to become like a whisper or a vapor, as long as your mind isn't still reeling around. And if your mind is still looping or staying in that worrisome mindset, that's when we need to control the breath. Inhale, let's slowly start to lift away from that position. And if you're in deer, kind of sitting down, use your hands to square the hips, curl the back toes under, return to downward facing dog, but we're not holding it this time. We're walking the hands back towards the feet, softening the knees upon arrival, coming into dangling pose. So personally, dangling pose, I like being like a rag doll with my hands touching down. But a lot of people prefer bringing in that extra feeling of weight by crossing the arms. And again, you can determine which is better for you, which is your preference. Let's bring a little bit more traction to the neck as the head hangs down by lacing the fingers around the back side of the skull, like we did earlier in the warm-up. Allowing the elbows to flop in towards the face. And remember, we're not pulling. Just that gesture, just this hand hold should be enough to provide a little bit more. This is also good for stretching out the ligaments that travel alongside the vertebrae. Surrendering the hands back down. And just kind of nodding your head one way or another, or a blend of both. Walk the hands out in front of you. Just enough to lower to knees. We're not doing plank. That's too much today. She said, thank God. We're going to spin these legs around. Supine twist sounds good to me. Does that sound good to you?
Yes.
Going to roll down and just catch the knees at first. Now I'll let you determine, do you just want to keep it simple, knees stacked when you roll into the left? Or maybe you want something a little deeper. Maybe the right leg should cross over the left knee to still them down. So I'll let you decide. The arms can really be anywhere, as long as your shoulder blades are still touching down. And the right one's going to be less weighted. And just take notice of the breath streaming in and out through the nose. The coolness as it enters, the warmth as it exits. whether or not there's a sound to it. But more importantly, noticing if it feels restrained or blocked at all. And if you experience a kink on either your inhale or exhale, just let that be part of your work. Breathing in such a way so that you break through that kink. Inhale, draw the knees back to center. If you did cross the legs, uncross, recross left over right, and then eventually spill them down to the other side. Take the time you need to settle in. And it may be that the crossing of the leg worked beautifully on one side and not so great on the other side. Inhale, let's unroll from the twist. Uncross the legs, and the feet are apart but the knees touch together. Lift the arms straight up towards the ceiling. Crisscross the arms, one over the other. The elbows point straight up, but it's not shielding or hiding your face. Lounge here and breathe. first thing is just take note of how you crossed your arms. Which one's in front? And then sweep the arms back up. Crisscross the opposite way. The fingertips hang down towards the floor. The face has clearance so that you can still openly breathe. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, pick up the feet, tuck the knees back in one last time. Lengthening the lumbar area of the back. And then when you're ready, you're going to take a bolster if you have it under your knees.
Thank you.
Mhm. And if you have a blanket, you're welcome to use it to cover the body or to use it like a pillow. Just take your time settling in. And I'll take you through some relaxation techniques. So if you bring your attention all the way down into your toes and feet, try to relax each foot from the inside out and the outside in. Soften and relax your calves, your shins, and your knees. Perhaps feeling the support below. Relaxing your thighs, front and back, inner and outer, from the inside out and the outside in. Relax the hips, the buttocks, all across the lower band of your belly. Bring it to the upper band of the belly. Continue to wrap your awareness around your torso to your mid-back, to your chest, to your upper back and shoulders. Relaxing these areas from the inside out and the outside in. And then relaxing down through the arms into your hands and fingers. Bring it into your neck and your throat, your face, your scalp. And once you scan all the way from the feet up to the top of your head, you can let the mental process go and just be in your body, anchored in this moment. And only needing to control the breath if or when you need to escape from a thought or a feeling that has you trapped, so that you can create some moksha, some inner freedom for yourself. Affirming as you hold bones, muscles, movement. I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, any and all turning thoughts, I now give over to the hands of peace. Even though your mind might have drifted towards relaxation, I want you to pay attention to your breath. And count 7 breaths, one by one. At the completion of 7, you can hug the knees back in. You can rock side to side, eventually turning to your favorites. And rise up to take a seat. Sitting upright with your palms open. And hopefully feeling as though you were able to get rid of some of the overwhelm you might have been experiencing energetically, emotionally, psychologically, even physically. Hopefully you feel lighter and better, clearer to continue your day. Bring your hands up to prayer position at your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.